Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Wednesday, December 10th. It's Web3 101 Wednesday, which means this is your place for helpful news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions, but then we said, let's bring some friends along, and very quickly, our Web3 101 party devolved into, I don't know what kind of chaos. I am just thrilled to be here with, per usual, Alex, Will, but also, I want you to welcome our friends Jerry and Brandon to the show, guys. It's bright and early. It's morning somewhere. How the hell are you?
Good. This, I now want to petition. I now want to petition. You know, you guys are very smart guys. I really look up to all three of you, just so you know this. I don't know why you chose to do the show at a godforsaken hour. This could have easily been the Rise Up afternoon show, I think. But here we are at the Rise Up morning show. I don't remember the last time I woke up at 6 a.m. Well, I woke up at 5:30 to be here, to be on camera at 6 a.m. But I'm very happy that it's with you guys because, you know, I wouldn't do this for most people, but I did it for the two of the three of you.
Well, that means a lot, but just remember, it's your fault for not being on the East Coast.
It's true.
It is true.
Yeah, you messed
that. That really bothers me. That really bothers me that you said that. We can move on.
That's all the time Jerry has today, guys. So,
Don't worry, guys. I'm only on the West Coast over here, so just knock one more hour off, and then you got the time that I had to get up a good old 4:30 a.m. But you know, we do it live.
To siesta, though.
That's true.
Oh.
So everything Jerry feels, Brandon feels doubly, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Although Jerry's complaining a lot more.
He is complaining a lot more.
Although credit where credit's due, Jerry asked permission ahead of time last night to come grumpy.
He did.
And
we
did say the grump is welcome. Yeah. And so Jerry, you are right at home.
Well, it makes it worse because all of you do like a thing better than me. And that really bothers me. Like, you know, Evan's taller than me. You know, William's got the mustache. Alex is probably richer than me. You know,
you picked that in the wrong order. I have the better beard. Will's the rich one.
I mean, rich. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself that.
That's how you know he's rich.
Yeah, he's such a good guy. He's gonna be like, oh, yeah, I'm rich in experiences, and I'm rich in, you know, the love that people show. Yeah, and I just like, dude, just that bothers me worse.
Measure the amount of Bitcoin I have. Maybe some would also consider.
Yeah, some might say that.
Also, you know? I'm loaded.
Yeah, by dollar bills. That.
Yeah.
Okay. Who, for people who don't know, the hell are you guys? And tell them a little more about what you do, because already people, I think, can sense that we've had the chance to talk before, all of us, but this is your first time on Rise Up. So what brings you here today, and what brought you to the crypto space? Brandon, you take it first. Sorry.
Yeah, we can go into that. I was about to quote post out the post on Arena just to get things going.
I caught him right in the middle of his quote post. Okay. No. Don't hold for a sec. Let me do this. Let me say, this is a good opportunity for me to tell you listening. If you are listening in Arena land, first of all, hello. We hope your candles are green. It's always so good to be here with you guys. If you have not yet visited arena.social, we started streaming there. What's it been now? A couple of weeks, and it's still hit or miss. Sometimes my stream doesn't go there, but it's such a great live experience. If you're listening in podcast land and you're thinking about joining the show, maybe you're uncomfortable with TikTok or you don't like Twitter, check out arena.social, because the social features there are really strong. On our live stream, not only can you comment, hang out with us, have a good time, repost, but you can interact with all the others, and you can tip people. This is my favorite feature. I will regularly go on a tipping spree whenever anybody tips the show. If we do a giveaway or something like that, it makes it really easy to send you crypto. It's a cool crypto-enabled social experience, and we would love to see you there. Okay, Brandon, did I buy you some time? In the meantime, Jerry,
and I sent. Okay, yeah, it was. We just wanted to get it out a little bit. It looks like we've got some decent numbers already flowing into the arena. So that's good to see, about 200 people flowing in over there. But yeah, Jerry and me, I guess we can go into both, but I started out in the space a while back, kind of light, like a lot of people. 2017, you start, maybe you hear whispered before that, but then maybe 2017, you take your first bite. You're like, oh, I'm going to get in. I'm going to start. I'm with my buddy in Spain, and we're basically talking to each other about it. Oh, you know what? Let's buy something right now. And so probably mid 2017, we started buying a couple things, just whatever you could get on Coinbase, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash at the time, before you know anything about anything. And I think that got you the little teaser. Fast forward a few months, you run into your first massacre in 2018, and you're basically at the situation of, okay, I don't know where I stand with this, but I fell in love enough that at that moment, I knew it was coming back. I knew there's so much excitement there, but I kind of took a break till probably, I was watching it, but I wasn't ingrained in it. And then in 2020, probably right before DeFi summer, I just started going like, it's going to come back. This is a thing. I need to dive in. And so from 2020 on, I began to really dive in on a daily basis, heavily trying to learn the trade. Eventually found out if you hang out too long as just a user and just looking at influencers and listening to what they say, you're going to get wrecked. I definitely got wrecked at times listening to influencers. So that's when I kind of worked my way to say, I need to network in this space. I need to work my way up the chain. I need to get closer to the first source of information. And so I spent the next year trying to become a little bit more connected to where the raw source of information was. And that eventually led to kind of building a company in this space. I ended up building a development company, which was my experience from before, bringing in solutions architects, things like that, building out products, platforms, things. Did that for a few years, kind of off of my experience in tech, and then eventually shifted into one of our friends, IAC, pushing to say, hey, I'd love to hear you out publicly more instead of being behind the scenes. So in, I think it was 2023, early 2024, Jerry and me started talking and decided to roll the show out, which now, as of yesterday, we've been running for 2 years, switched into a stream about 6 months ago from a space stage, and rolled out the branding of Exit Liquidity to make it an official titled show as of yesterday.
Brandon,
as of yesterday?
As of yesterday.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, we announced it right on the stage right on the stream with Ariel Pennington from AVAX.
Wow.
Oh, sick. Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Did it with big fanfare. You decided let's stop getting rugged by influencers, become influencers and primary sources ourselves. Go ahead, Will.
Oh, I wanted to ask, switching from spaces 6 months ago to like a full show, like what we're doing here, our faces, and we're chatting and stuff. How did you notice the audience and community change? And just like interactions with that? Did you notice a change, closer knit, better communication, worse, anything like that?
It was really different from the standpoint of, I didn't come from content as much as Jerry did, being in Twitch, and he'll tell you his story. But for stages, we ran a lot on stages. So beginning with the platform on the arena, it was kind of a little bit more developed stage presence than spaces. You don't have a lot of the issues. So with stages, it was a really helpful to start there for us, because you got the opportunity to speak directly to people, bring people up, have discussions, discuss things that are actually going on with them a little bit easier. Where in a stream, it's really good visually and we can show a lot more. And there's a certain audience that loves that, but then there's a certain audience that feels that they're missing that conversational banter and the ability to dive deeper into something as a group. So I think there's positives and benefits of each, but visually and the ability to share content at more scale and allow more people to see it. It's just, from our end, it's immeasurable, the difference of having video clips out there able to spread to more people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier to get your brand out when people can know you, like you, trust you when they see you in the grocery store, right?
Oh, exactly.
100%.
So I'd love to see you guys. We're talking right now. We're in this weird other phase where it's, do we incorporate stages space back in some way, because there is that element of connection there. So maybe that's something that could be fun too. I don't know if you guys ever kind of run the stage space realm or purely stream?
Dude, it's the same as it is with TikTok, right? You got to have a separate device at the ready, like running the space, and then you run a separate stream. The API is terrible for it. The modern market guys do it that way, or at least they did it last update. I had a message out to Bread that said, hey, are you guys still doing this? And he hasn't answered me yet, so I will find out for you.
I do really like the story of how like Alex and Evan first kind of started the show. I'm pretty sure it was a space on Twitter, wasn't it?
It was.
You guys were,
Yes.
No one showed up, so it was just
well,
Alex and Evan
like 2 or 3
talking to each other. And
Tori
then
was
one
there.
of them was Tori, who is now our first employee.
Oh, wow.
Who's been with us for forever.
Congratulations,
longer than
Tori.
I've been here.
I don't think I don't see Tori awake at 6:20 a.m. right now doing the show. So.
No, but she's here managing
she's here.
stuff in the background.
Nah,
She's
just
in the
kidding.
chat like a
section.
thankless job.
Tori.
You know?
Yeah, Tori's a sweetheart. I do it out of love, Tori. To you, not to these guys. I mean everything I'm going to say to them. So.
Okay, Jerry. What about you, man? How'd you get to be on this Dog and Pony show?
Like in crypto or this show
Like
here?
in crypto, like doing your own shows, like doing our show. You know, the check is in the mail, baby.
Yeah. So I've like, all right, there's like 2 stories here to tell. First, my entry into crypto is really idiotic on my part. William will be happy with me, and then also upset with how I entered to crypto. But I used to be a firefighter, right? It was like my first real big job that I had. I was a firefighter in the state of California. This is the first time I was ever like making money where I could like invest and everything, right? And this is 2019-ish, 2018, I think I got hired, right? I was a young dude. And I started making money, right? And I was like, dude, I don't know what to do with all this money. Like, I think I should do something with it, right? So I started buying stocks, right? I started buying just kind of, I had a really big win on like Tesla. My brother worked for Amazon at the time, like bought a bunch of Amazon stock. It was kind of like boring stocks, but I was just, my dad was like a big dividends guy. My dad like bought Coca-Cola stock for like years and just like 30 years of buying like all dividend yielding stocks, and he built up this like really big net worth that I still haven't inherited, which one day maybe I will. That's my ticket to being rich. William's just a smart guy, I am going the inheritance route, and
hey, it's a route. It gets you there.
It's out, like one of the 2 parents is down, so I just got one more to go. That was a really dark joke. I apologize, Mom. I'll see you in a few weeks. So in a good way, in a celebratory way. And so then one day I was like, we'd all heard about Bitcoin like on Reddit and like 4chan and stuff like in like 2011, 2012. None of us knew how to buy it, right? And one day I was like, but I'd always kind of followed like crypto. And this is around the time, now enough time's gone by that like the stock market crashed during... Thank you, Tori. The stock market crashed because of the COVID. It was like March 21st of like the COVID year, right? And stock market just crashed. I put a bunch of money into the stock market. And I remember one day just like my portfolio went higher. Like I was working overtime in California on like a wildfire. And like my just investments made more money for me that day than me working a wildfire, like a 700,000 acre wildfire, right? And I was like, this is really stupid. I don't want to do this anymore, right? So I started trying to think like, how do I get out of this, right? So I started looking at like more risk-on strategies, and like crypto came up, right? Bitcoin came up, and I don't remember what the price was at the time, but I remember going back to my station. I used to work at a station with 9 other dudes, all like alpha male type guys. We'd all started investing. I'd kind of gotten everybody on this like thing that when you're a firefighter, it's like really boring a lot of the time. You don't have that much to do. So like I became really good at like investing in the stock market, right? So one day I come in and I'm like, guys, there's this thing called like Bitcoin and like Ethereum and all this stuff. Like, I think it's going to be the future of all of this, right? And 9 alpha male men just laughed at me and were like, you're an idiot. No. They were like, you're so dumb, dude. So I like took a bunch of money I had and I just bought a bunch of Bitcoin in that moment. And I was like, because I like not knowing anything about Bitcoin, but I was just like, I don't want you guys to win here, and I want to act more convicted than I actually am. Yeah, I don't know anything about this stuff, right? it sounds cool, right? And that ended up being like one of the best investments I ever made, right?
Bullied
so,
into
like,
buying Bitcoin. At
bullied
hopefully a
into
very
buying
good time.
Bitcoin, right? And so, and then I remember this one guy was like, "You're such an idiot." He like literally, we went aside. He's like, "You're an idiot," and he said it like in a little bit of a nicer way than that. It was like 10% nicer than that. He was basically like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna settle. Like, you're working so hard. You're gonna sell this money on fire." Right. I text him all the time and I'm just like, "Hey, remember when you called me?" Like, he's still a friend of mine. I'm like, "Remember when you said this was a bad idea?"
Yes,
right.
We love the petty.
And dude, I am fueled by pettiness, right? As a man, like, my main motivator in life is really just pettiness.
Gorgeous.
So
It's that 50 Cent track.
Yeah. Big Curtis Jackson fan here.
Oh yeah,
right.
Same.
So,
I just learned about him buying out the first 4 rows at Ja Rule's concert the other day, so nobody would be there. I was like, whoa! Kimberly told me about that.
It's so good in the fact that he started doing his interview before the Puff documentary only on ABC, because that's the only news network that's aired during the time in prison where they get to watch TV. I'm just like, it's
next level
so good.
Pettiness of
top
that,
tier
man.
hater. I love it.
Yeah. And so, and then I was like, well, now I spent all this money on this thing I don't know anything about. I should probably go learn about it, right? And then this is a great time to be getting into crypto, right? This is like, and I was like really Bitcoin only for like a long time. And then like as NFTs started to go off, I remember I used to listen to this podcast called Flagrant 2. And what's the guy? Anthony Pompliano was on it, and he's talking about like NFTs and stuff. And I was like, dude, this stuff sounds like kind of weird, but it sounds kind of cool. Like, I can see a future where this stuff matters, right? So I started by getting into ETH. My first educator, and this is why it's what you guys do is so powerful. My educator was BitBoy, right? Before BitBoy like broke, like BitBoy was like the only guy. It was like Kobe wasn't really around at the time anymore, right? So it was like this new wave of influencers that came along. It ended up being kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything about what has happened with him, but like, so I got like an NFT. He did like an NFT thing. I bought that, met some people, entered into a project that Brandon was a part of, and then that's how Brandon and I got to meet each other. And from there, I had this like skill set also at the time. I was like really focused on games marketing, right? And like Alex, spent some time in gaming, right? So, gaming started to really grow as a narrative. And I was like, I can actually blend my 2 skill sets now, right? Because I'd left firefighting because of investing, right? And was like, yo, I can go do this. The other part of that story, which I'll tell in a much quicker way, I just always been into content. Like I was, I got a really, really competitive advantage that I never knew was going to happen. Was I grew up in Southern California, so a bunch of my friends went to go work for Blizzard. So they would always give me early access to like Blizzard games, right? And so when Overwatch was launching, the first Overwatch, I was like the first 50 people that got to test that game. So I started streaming it.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, I also see a way where, and this is before I was in crypto. I was like, I see how this is also going to be the future of entertainment, right? So I just kind of leaned into that. That was something I did from like really the point of like leaving high school to getting into firefighting. Was like I just sustained myself as a streamer. So I'd always kind of had a content background and everything. And so, one day I was like, I was talking to Brandon and I was like, man, nobody's really talking about the stuff that I want to talk about and I want to hear people talk about. And Brandon's like, why don't we just do it then? And here we are, like 18 months later, going pretty well. So it's a very long story, guys, to the audience who might not know me. I don't wake up at this time. So if I'm a little, aloof or off,
I got a favorite comment that came while you were telling that story, and it was right near the beginning before you lost the entire audience with the long story. And it was when you said that you're a firefighter, and Robot Steckler's on TikTok goes, because cops need heroes too.
They do.
They do.
They do. They all look up to us. They come try to use our bathrooms and stuff, and I'm like, get out of here, punk, you punk.
Oh my gosh, they do really appreciate you guys being here. There are a lot of nice comments coming in saying welcome, thank you for waking up early. And I did want to just kind of like rewind. You mentioned we won't dwell on it, but I'm curious, did the rest of you guys also watch from and learn from BitBoy, or like who were some of your early crypto educators? Because if you're trying to look for crypto on the internet right now, there's a lot of options. Most of them are bad. Yeah. But in whatever, when we were getting started, it was like even less options. And BitBoy really did have what I would consider a fair amount of helpful content. Beginner questions answered clearly. He didn't purport to be some like fancy elite guy. He was, for folks who don't know, I've got him up on the screen share if you didn't see him. It was just this kind of like everyman teaching you how to use crypto, and then it developed. So did you guys watch BitBoy too, or did you watch other people? Alex, I feel like you at least knew who Ben was.
I disliked him from the first video I saw of him. I would like that to be on record, which I have put.
I don't know that I just liked him. I kind of just thought he was like
just kind of like this goofy like family guy, and then and then he made too much money.
There were two Bens, because I wasn't into the content because I was aggressively trying to learn how this stuff worked. So I was way more into Whiteboard Crypto. That was my favorite.
Yeah, great channel, dude. Great channel.
Such a massive bummer that he kind of slowed down, because that was the best. Mm-hmm. And then he's an actor, but he ran a good network. Guy at Coin Bureau had some good stuff over there, so that one got me started. Lark, the thing that really pulled me out of it was just after like a year or so, altcoin daily, I used to get updates from there too, and then it just sort of started to dawn on me that hey, these guys are running a program, and none of them are spending their off time learning more about this. They are staying at the exact same level forever, and it never goes anywhere. So I was like, okay, my learning here has a hard cap on it. So I left. And then Ben was always just never liked the content. Met him a number of times. He was always a sweetheart back in the day, and then he had this character, and then the character became his real life, and then he devolved, and it was very sad to watch. But is what it is.
The only other name I'd add to that list for me, like altcoin, you said, altcoin daily was big for me at first. And then there was also the other name, there was Nicholas Merton with Data Dash. Really liked him because it was more macro stuff, and it started kind of piquing my interest in that, which has now become a huge focus to me and a huge passion. And then there was also box mining. Box mining got me into being he was the person who taught me about Engine Coin, and then taught me about Web3 gaming. And I was like, oh, that's sick. And now it's my most interesting. It's the most interesting and fun use case for me to learn about. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's always good. And it's always a good reminder, one, nobody knows who you are on this little corner of the internet. And also at the same time, people are watching, so don't mislead them. Don't do anything crazy, even at, what is it now? 5:30 in the morning over there, Brandon? And Jerry, dude, the sun has got to be rising where you are. Tell me there's a light at the end of your tunnel.
Nope.
No, it's still still pretty dark out there, Evan. Thanks for asking.
Hey, tell me more about this show that you guys are doing and gonna do for people in our audience who might want to tune in. And also give a little plug for the arena. I kind of gave a plug, but that's kind of become your primary home on the internet, yeah, for streaming. For this
casually 630 people over there.
630 people over there. It's pretty crazy.
Shout out to all the people listening on the arena. It's amazing. So tell us more.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, we can start out with the arena. I got the arena sweatshirt on right now.
Nice.
A little merch check. But yeah, the arena is an interesting platform. It's got a really amazing community there that's kind of been built through the fire and flames. If you were there early days, it's been around just over 2 years now. I got on in the first couple weeks of it being in existence, and it was it was mania. It was the amount of volume going through there, kind of the ticketing model. Everything was the second biggest thing, kind of competing with FriendTech at the time before FriendTech eventually died off. So the arena has been something where it's been super interesting to see it grow from pre-like button being there to seeing, all these things that you just expect as a user. When you're growing a platform from ground zero, it's crazy. Replies to replies wasn't a thing for a long time, and they had to code that up. All these things, stages, streams, all these social experiences, even these upgrades to these tools that we use based on what users want differently from a platform like that has been just incredible to watch. But we luckily got got to know Jason fairly early. When I was on early, he actually was a user with me. And since we were both power users, when he bought the platform, he actually called me. It was melting down because it had gotten hacked by the old founders while I was in Transylvania, because I was at Dracula's castle for a Halloween party. And
wait. You can't just fly by that.
That's awesome.
Quickly take a detour. Did you get invited or did you just go?
They host a party each year on Halloween, and my buddy's wife is from Romania and from that area, which is called something else now, but it's known as Transylvania from the past. And so we actually went there. And funny enough, I just went back this last summer because he had his wedding in Dracula's castle, and we had dinner out front of it.
I didn't know this was even
legendary.
an option in life.
Oh yeah.
And now it's on my bucket list.
Yeah, Thor the Impaler's, it's Bran Castle out in Romania. But yeah, I was there. So I'm at this trip that's just this insane, never thought I'd be at trip. And in the background, this platform that I've got thousands and thousands of AVAX in is melting down. And I'm just sitting there once a day. I'm ignoring the fact of how much money I'm losing. And I'm just once a day, twice a day, I'm going in and posting a positive thought like, hey, just keep my head on, blah, blah. And so when Jason decided he was going to buy the platform, he ended up saying that, hold on, I didn't mute. I could hear myself there for a sec. But yeah, he ended up calling me and going, hey, if I buy this platform, will you stick with me and kind of ride through the turmoil that will be the turning point of this platform as I build it out? I need you to stay positive and like be with me in this. And I need a couple core people to stick around and basically show confidence in this takeover. So in that time, I made that choice. Pretty soon after, I was giving Jerry calls. Jerry ended up making his way on, and we ended up bringing together our presence and just really enjoying what the platform became. It ended up being where we ended up hosting our stages, and then was the reason we jumped back into streaming. So pretty incredible platform. It has a face of X and kind of like the feel of an X, but with an ability to get more access to people through their ticket chats, to have more of a direct conversation, and then some kind of user experience upgrades on a space scenario in their stage. Like with their stage, you can actually, it can all go wrong and the host can leave the stage and come back. Or if they have co-hosts, they can just leave the stage running and the co-host can keep running it on their profile. So you never have to just close it down or auto close. So there's a bunch of things. I won't go all into everything, but yeah, that's that. And then Jerry, if you want to jump into, go ahead, William.
Oh, I do want to just ask a follow-up question on the arena, because we have a large audience. Almost everybody in our audience don't really know about the arena other than times where we have mentioned it and brought it up. So what would you say are the advantages or the attractive things for folks who are like, I don't know anything about the arena. Like, I have all these apps that take up my bandwidth and all that. Like, why do I need this other one? What are the advantages for me potentially as a viewer?
Yeah, I'd say like, one of the coolest moments probably of my like content career was like allowed because of like tooling, like, using just blockchain and like crypto rails for a social app, right, can let you do some like really cool things, right? So kind of cool example from like a audience member perspective was Brandon and I had, Eamon, who's the CEO of Ava Labs, on, and the AVAX Foundation came and tipped out one AVAX to every person that was in there. But that ended up being like a $75,000 airdrop to people, right? And it was really crazy for us to be like these kind of like up and coming at the time content creators, to have seen just like $75,000 of like value transfer go to something that you created was really cool to see. And like that existed because they sent that to everybody who was in the audience, right? It was actually so much like traffic at once that it kind of bricked the blockchain for like a second, like there was a congestion like effect that happened on AVAX because, right? But like that, people just had to show up and listen, right? And so you as a creator can kind of help seed an audience by like being like, hey, if I take on a sponsorship deal or something, I'll give out some of this money because I want to continue to build. Like Brandon and I never went that route. because we were always kind of like, hey, like we wanted to focus on like the creator monetization aspect of it, right? So like for people like us, it's been life-changing, right? Because people can just show up and like tip you tokens and tip you AVAX or anything. They also have like, the token launcher, right? And as like tokens kind of progress through the bonding curve, they become tipping tokens, right? So, you can like, it doesn't have to be AVAX that gets tipped out. It could be Lambo or it could be GOAT or something like that, right? And these tokens that have all like built, a handful of them have really tried to take on not just being a meme coin that's like funny and they're posting like AI images, like they're trying to build protocols and products around it. And GOAT's like a great example of that, right? Like they have a whole, like, they call it like the GOAT-cino, right? Where you can go and just kind of like participate in that. And, they have a bunch of like just kind of casino style games and like working on some like skill-based style games. So, you think about like things that exist on a social media platform and what adding, blockchain and the things that crypto is good at, right? Sending money to people, being fast, being cheap, and being a way to kind of transact with one another in a really efficient manner. Well, now as a creator, you can actually monetize so much better. Like I think in my first month on Arena, I made more than I'd ever had on Twitch. And I'd been on Twitch for years. I'd been pretty successful on Twitch too, right? So, it's truly like a platform where you don't have to be a big name. I think you just have to provide value to people and they'll really resonate with that, right? So like Alex, a bunch of people have been buying his ticket because I think he was like the last one of the trio to jump on. So Alex is earning money off all those ticket purchases that people are doing right now. You're welcome, Alex. I bought some myself. But
I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But for the record, I was the first. I just gave up very quickly.
Well,
I've been on Arena
that checks out
since
for what I know about the three
launched.
of you. Yeah.
Don't come for me.
So no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But
How do you
also,
mute Jerry?
yeah, also, right, like that value of that ticket, right? If people just want to speculate on like the value that Alex might provide, right? Now they're gaining their portfolio size off of like, if all the people that bought tickets before I bought 4 of Alex's, right? Well, the ticket price just went up quite a bit, right? So now, they can kind of gain on that too, right? So it's very like, I think the coolest thing about Arena is a lot of the stuff can flow bi-directionally rather than like just straight to the platform or straight to the creator or straight to the audience or whatever. Like if you're creative and good at coming up with ideas, like that flow can be totally bi-directional and it should be, right?
We have a couple ideas in the comments. In fact, Alex and Solom are going back and forth about what if there was a live Magic or D&D stream that people could participate in. And I think there could be. It could be the move, you guys. But, I'm curious what the state of content is there. Like, what do you find does what? Do you find gaming content does well? Is it mostly crypto content?
Man, I mean, I'll
Doing
tell
little
like,
dances?
if you want to be the first like DDR person on there, Evan,
Okay.
I think
Bullish.
No, it's definitely Alex. Alex already challenges people to international dance-offs on TikTok.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves it. It's his favorite.
Yeah, I didn't know that about Alex. He has this grisly look about him.
He discovered
Jerry,
it about
listen,
himself one day.
I didn't know it either. It's news to me.
Was it Alex? Alex was alone. I'm pretty sure I was in Buenos Aires or somewhere, and Will.
And I was
don't
in
remember.
Japan.
He was in Japan. That's right. We were both out of the country, and Alex is, feeling the intense FOMO, answering people's questions, doing God's work, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the TikTok stream, some split screen camera feature pops up, and there's a guy on the other side, and he's going like, just like really working
really
the dance
dancing.
moves with a lot of conviction. And Alex, poor Alex, he really handled it well, but he was like, I didn't ask for this. I don't know how to get out. He absolutely just he had to wait 5 minutes.
Did you dance your way out?
No, he didn't. I watched it.
I just stood there trying to figure out what the hell was going on without completely ruining the podcast recording.
Yeah.
And then luckily the people showed up in force and we absolutely decimated that dude.
We smoked.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it wasn't even close. Like thousands to a couple dozen. And then he wanted to go again. And I was like, oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, he was challenging the creator off.
He's a little bit of a masochist.
So, but what do they have? That is it mostly talk shows? Is it mostly crypto stuff?
Well,
what are you seeing over there?
Obviously we do a talk show. We do a show similar to this. So I think that obviously does well if you can put together like a good run of show. There's always people really vibe with like long form content that's good and well put together. As you guys would know, I think you guys have done a pretty good job of that yourselves. I did this thing the other day, like a few months ago, where I was like, hey, I'm kind of tired of people complaining about tips and all this stuff here. I'm going to come up with like, I'm going to stream every day until I make like X amount of money. So we have like a leaderboard if you're like a top 500 staker. And so I was like, I'm going to stream every day until people tip me enough tokens that I hit that threshold on my own, right? Because you get some like extra benefits and stuff. And so I did everything, right? I played some games. I was doing just like a solo, like, here's what I think about what's going on in crypto thing. I'd pull up like 10 news articles. I'd go through them and like just talk about it with people. So like, you know, I think gaming is like, if it's a streaming platform, gaming will do well, right? If you're an entertaining person, a good conversationalist, long form will do well, right? If you have like the Bill Burr or like Rush Limbaugh effect where you can just talk by yourself, that'll do really well too. I mean, I've done all of it, and I have personally done well at all of it because I care, and like I wanted to show people like what could be done. So I would say, like, just as a content creator in general, like, just, you know, make the content you want to make, and people will find it if you're really passionate about it, right? And so there's still a ton of stuff we haven't seen. Like Hapu's in the chat right now. She's a, you know, very good friend of Brandon and I's, and like just does art streams, right? Those do well, you know. There's a girl that just came on and is like, she plays Marvel Rivals, like nothing crypto related, right? And she's doing incredibly well for herself, right? So I think you just have to show up and you have to care a little bit. It's like anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to see, because it's nice to see that it's not just like only crypto focused, because then that obviously limits the audience size for the platform, for everybody, right? And the types of people you can educate. Because, you know, for all of us who want to try to reach as large of an audience as possible, and you can't do that if you're not attracting in everybody from every walk of life of every interest, right? So it's cool to see that it is like the full breadth as you would expect from any streaming platform on, you know, Web2 internet.
Yeah.
Well, I think the ideal vision, yeah, like if you talk to Jason, we can get Jason connected with you guys too, and he would happily come on. He's a great speaker, and he's got a really creator first mentality when he builds any piece of the platform. And his ideal vision is that it's not a crypto platform. He loves that it's crypto platform, he's a crypto guy, but that it's a social platform, and there's a crypto community there, and there's an artist community there, and there's a musical community there, there's a dev community there, there's every social community that wants to create, talk to each other, put content out, engage in any format. The idea is that it's, hopefully you guys felt this, it's a fairly simple entrance into the platform, and the blockchain's a little bit on the back end. Your wallet set up for you, the wallet feature set up for you. If you spent $0 in there, you could still do most everything on the platform. And if you want to spend money doing launches or coins or tickets, that's also an option for you, but that it's all the infrastructure's in place. So when you go there as a creator right away, maybe you've never engaged cryptocurrency, and you're getting a meme coin, or you're getting Avalanche, or you're getting whatever that is. And I think that's the feel they want. They want the ability to streamline payment processes for content creators and reduce how much the platform's taking from them.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, Evan, you'll appreciate this. There's this guy, I'm forgetting his name, and I feel really bad about it. If somebody knows the guy's name, please say it in like the arena chat or something. But he just like goes and sets up his like a little mobile streaming setup in like, I think he's in Nashville or something. And he's just this incredibly talented musician. And he just plays at these like local bars and like clubs and stuff. And I mean, he's insanely talented, right? And
it's Evan Mann,
you know,
the guy you're talking about. That's Evan Mann.
Well, Evan Mann could and should be one of those people. I hope to see it soon one day. But you know, and he's just so talented, and like people really like, dude, every time I see him on, I'm like, man, I'm working or whatever, but I'm just gonna throw it on because like he's so good, right? And you know, so I think, you know, if you have a thing that you like to make, just go make it. And if that thing could do well in front of a live audience, like just go stream it everywhere, right? But like there's so much tooling now to help you kind of stream in multiple places, right? I think we should all do, amongst the 5 of us, maybe get a couple more people, like a D&D campaign.
Oh, dude, I've never played.
Sick. Oh my God.
Everyone always tells me, Evan, you'd love it. You'd love it. You'd love it.
Have either of you guys DM'd before?
No.
Yes.
I've never
Okay.
played. I've never even
William,
played.
you seem like you got big DM energy over there.
Dude, I got all my dice right over here. Right next to my Aldari Warhammer 40k army.
Am I good or am I good?
You're pretty fucking good, man. You're pretty good. But I'll bring my buddy Alp, who has DM'd for us multiple times. He's a fantastic dungeon master, and he'll lead us to
ruin.
the
To
greatest
glory.
quest you've ever.
Well,
explored.
yeah. He will guide us down a path. We will take ourselves there.
Yes.
And the gentleman's name is Chris Gale. I apologize, Chris, that I didn't remember your name, your last
Chris
name.
Gale. Actually, I am familiar with a musician named Chris Gale. I don't know that I know him personally. I'm gonna have to look him up. That rings a bell. That's his handle on the arena.
It's Chris Gale's. It's
Chris
Gales. Chris Gale's music. Yeah.
Dude,
Jerry,
yeah,
did I
he's-
just see you just started following Evan Mann during this stream right now? Did I see your notification pop up?
Well, okay. Here's the thing: is I was following Evan already, but then when he told me the time, I was like, I have to unfollow Evan. Yeah, he needs to feel a little bit of punishment here. So I took my follow
There's
away,
the
and
evidence right there.
now I gave it back. We're having such a good conversation here.
That's okay, because over on Twitter I said, please join us in welcoming TGI Fridays and the Dazzle Novak to the show. And I had to
Thank
retweet
you.
to clarify, sorry, just kidding, guys. There's no French fries. It's TGI.
Well, which you actually kind of, by doing that, made it worse, because you also had to deliver it with bad news. You couldn't just be like, hey, I got the handle wrong. So it's like, oh, and also he's not bringing French fries for you guys. You had to be like, yo, he's letting you down, though.
I want to shout
thank
out. Let me pivot away from my disgrace to shout out a couple of comments that are coming from the arena. So to that tipping party you mentioned, shout out to Mailer Taylor for the fact check on this. These numbers are incredible. They said it was 2,000 people at $50 per AVAX token. Can you imagine?
Fact check yourself, brother.
$100,000 flowing through that stream.
Yeah.
They also said a tipping token. A token becomes a tipping token eligible to tip when it becomes a $300,000 market cap token. Thank you for the fact check there. We've also got Zen Girl, who said one time I had 800 people in a stream, tipped them $15 each in snow token. It was $12,000. Yeah. And Hapu, who you shouted out, said Arena is the best place to build real friendships. So
It's true.
Dude,
pretty
and I
bullish.
gotta say, from the streams that I hopped on with you guys, just like the vibes are good. Like the vibes are really fun. The chat's flowing. People are, having a great time and having a lot of fun, asking really good questions. And you guys both put on a great show and have a great dynamic between the two of you, and you do a great job with your guests. So it's just like a really fun time. And I have been bad about taking my TikTok videos that I put everywhere else and not putting them in Arena, but I will from this day forward be putting my videos, damn it, on the Arena app.
Okay,
and I
well,
will
you
say
said that loud.
You heard it
right here. I will be posting on the Arena. And also a few days ago, we had a cool moment here just with the Arena where I was chatting with Alex, and all of a sudden I see Evan and he's getting really happy, and he's leaning forward. I'm like, something is happening here. I don't know. So Alex and I finished our conversation, and we're like, Evan, what is happening over there, dude? And he's like, oh, dude, somebody tipped us $98 on the Arena app, and I'm just having a great time just giving that money back to people in the comment section. And I was oh, and everyone's just having so much fun. He's like, I got money. Here's the money. And I'm like, Evan, no.
Classic Evan.
No. Yeah.
Evan, keep it.
I saw him do that
for everybody, which is honestly great.
I get why
We were
William's
having so much
richer
fun.
than everybody now. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
It was Colin. Do you know how to say Colin's last name? I've not heard him
Couché.
pronounce it. Couché, Colin Couché, and he was just he rolled right through. He's the king tipper on the Arena stream. You can see him right there.
Wow,
and it seems like he's kind of a local hero on the Arena. It sounds like he does that for everybody who's new or up and
He's
coming.
a founding member of Avalanche, so he was in the first 5 members of the team.
Oh, so
and
he
he's
could have given a
huge-
bigger tip.
He'll keep. That's
Yeah,
it. You keep showing
keep talking
up,
about how
and
much money you have, William. We'll bring Colin in, okay?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I will take money from anybody and everybody. So bring him in, man. If he's got bigger money bags, I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I think that's probably what I'd say is best for people is. It's just like a lot of chains, a lot of streaming platforms, things like that. It is a community where they have gotten burned before, or there's a lot of people that come and go, and will say a lot. So just sticking around, it does end up
really paying off because they dig in and they show up to everything. They'll comment on everything. We'll all support each other. We'll repost stuff. Just like even today, like I reposted all day yesterday, DM'd people, made sure that it's like, hey, these guys are doing a show. Like, let's get it ramped up. And I think people want to rally around creators. They want people to be fans of on this platform. And so anybody who digs in and says, I will be here week in and week out, the buy-in will come back in multiples the other way. It's just too many people. And you guys aren't like this because you run a show and you've run a show for a long time, but a lot of people have a concept. And then within 3-4 weeks, 2 months, they just slowly do it less a week. And then they slowly just don't do it ever again.
Well, we're trying to ramp up in the opposite direction. And for people who also want to experiment, the handle is arena.social, the URL, whatever the kids are calling it these days, arena.social. You can get started by connecting your X profile. If you've already got one, it's pretty quick and painless. And then you just roll, man.
Yeah, and as everyone can see here, I'm showing it on TikTok and on the big screen. It looks like Twitter. It's got a very familiar feel here. You have your feed, scroll through. Nice, clean, easy to navigate, and
there's Brandon.
It seems to just be getting better and better too.
Yeah,
and they're integrating with TikTok to make it a little smoother to post back and forth there too, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was chatting with someone on the Arena, and I don't think it's for posting back and forth with TikTok, but they're adding like
Logins.
TikTok and a few other socials for easier login. So if you don't have Twitter and you want an easier login, or you don't have a Gmail or whatever, you can use other apps for login.
Well, it used to be just like you could only connect Twitter, and then like that's kind of scary for people, like especially if people who have like status or emotion, as the kids would say. I think it's hard for people to like connect to something that they don't know. So like now you can just log in with an email. If you have a TikTok and anything, Arena, you can log in with multiple. I don't know if that's live yet or coming very soon.
It is.
But
it's
email is
soon.
live. Yeah.
Emails.
But you'll have you have the opportunity to basically for you guys, let's say a lot of the TikTok users, and especially the younger user base, I would say a lot of people, like outside of CT, I never used Twitter. That was never even a thing I thought about. It never was a use in my life. But once crypto came along, it did. But there's a lot of people that create that are not on X. They are on, like you guys already know. So to open the doors up for people to connect their socials, that maybe whether they're more proud of them or it's the place they actually spend their time, it connects to the actual identity that they care about compared to starting a brand new account on X to start a new account on Arena. It's kind of a convoluted process. So hopefully that will help even with your user base. That's probably some of them are just TikTok or just Instagram, TikTok. They can come in whatever way is comfortable.
Dude, I have to interrupt to tell you, you are not going to believe this. Chris Gales, that you shouted out earlier, his handle on the Arena is at Chris Gales Music. Thank you to Bearded for the assist. I know Chris. He may not know me, but I know Chris. He's a Memphis musician. He is plays around lots of places here. He's got a great reputation, and he's fantastic. He's excellent, and he is really friendly and nice. You don't get to see a lot of music when you gig around, but every now and then you get to go to a place when you're a musician and see another musician playing because you're off or whatever, and that's one of my favorite things to do is you get to shake their hand and tell them thank you for their music. And I remember meeting Chris, and he was just a real nice guy. He asked, "Oh, Evan, where do you play?" And So I cannot wait to support him. That is wild. At Chris Gales Music. Okay, Chris, man, call me. Let's go get coffee and stream on Arena together.
Small world, dude.
Wow.
That's so cool. I love when people in Memphis are using crypto stuff, internet stuff. I feel like it's kind of a pocket of the world where I'm like the only guy doing it, and I'm always saying to Kimberly, my fiance, I want to do more in the community to do the stuff I do for work, and maybe Chris and I'll hang out, play a little duet.
Ooh,
that'd be sick.
Well, I'd love to see it.
And then Alex,
maybe
there's a lot
in the
of
background.
Yeah. We'll work it into the D&D campaign too. You guys will both be bards.
Bards? Hell yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Alex, I heard you pipe up a couple times over there, and I think we just railroaded you. So how are you doing? You just
how
holding
are you
it down
doing?
in your quietly in your Magic the Gathering sweatshirt?
Speaking of small world, the specific region of what is known as Transylvania that Brandon was talking about is Sigishwara, and that's where my grandfather's from.
Wow.
I knew you were a vampire.
Got to make a pilgrimage, is what you're saying. We're doing a Rise Up Halloween anymore. Special.
It doesn't exist anymore, but I will never forget it because it did get me in trouble in basic training, because when I filled out my equip to get my security clearance, I had to bring my father because they ask you lots of questions about your family's background and where they're from and everything. And so I'm like sitting in the recruiter's office filling out this equip application for security clearance, and this Eastern European man is standing next to me with a paper just reading me weird ass names in Romania. And because I didn't know where any of my family was from, I've never met half of them. And so they're just like staring at me, and I got pulled out of class like within the first couple weeks to get a lot of questions. And I was like, listen, you got to call my dad. I don't know. And they're like, this doesn't look good for you. And I'm like, I know.
I know.
I know, but I've never met them. They're like, oh, okay, well, we care a little bit less now. But I still had to like get grilled for a while. And it was close. It was touch and go. But shout out, because small ass world, Transylvania is cool as hell.
The U.S. military was like, you're a little bit too Eastern Balkan blocky.
Well, listen, there's the thing. Like when you're stationed on a ship, if you haven't, if like anything happens with your security clearance, just because you're walking around a place with like access to sensitive information and it's all like very siloed on this boat floating in the middle of the ocean. Shout out Jerry, I was also a firefighter. Not the same kind. I wouldn't call myself a
no. Yeah, that's a way more intimidating type of firefighter. I had water at all times. You guys got engine fires and stuff. I don't do engine fires. You know,
it was engine fires and helicopters that explode on the flight deck.
Yeah, I don't do that. Jet fuel. You know what that does to a building?
You know, the funny thing is that the lesson on fighting jet fuel fires with like burning magnesium on the flight deck of a ship, the only lesson is you're not going to touch this. Turn the ship really hard and throw the helicopter off into the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do. And then all of us are out there dressed like a baked potato, just hoping that you don't die until the helicopter gets thrown into the water.
I hope I don't die.
Yeah.
That is wild. That is
Magnesium
absolutely wild.
reacts to water, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a little chemistry lesson for you guys out there. But magnesium, very reactant to water, right? So if you spread water at magnesium, it makes the thing 1,000 times worse, right? So.
Well, and on these ships, we do this fun exercise wherein you dress like a baked potato and you go, I'm not making this up, you can look up videos. You go out there, it's called a hypher, hot in air refuel. And you go out there with this giant hose full of, that's connected to the jet fuel tank back of the ship. And then you some guy in a helicopter is hovering over the boat, lowers this little rope down to you. And then they winch up this fuel hose, which they connect to the helicopter as it's flying above the ship, and they pump jet fuel into the helicopter as it's flying. And then my dumbass is down there in this suit, just like hoping that he doesn't drop this hose spraying jet fuel onto you from the sky. And then they winch it back down and you tuck it away and put it away and hope that everyone survives. And we do that for fun.
Yeah, for fun, yeah. You get voluntold probably to do that, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Alex saw that the outfit resembled a potato and signed up immediately.
No hesitation.
Yeah.
We have an inside joke on the show that I'll read you into, which is that Alex's parents were frugal, smart, and realized why get him expensive, Star Wars Lego sets when we could just hand him a potato, as babies pretty much just want something to chew on that is resilient to their budding teeth. So there are lots of pictures of Alex as a youngster with a potato.
Yeah, just football carrying a potato that I would gnaw on.
Not the same potato. They had to change
it
it out.
Is that true? Or is that just like the joke?
No, I'm dead serious.
My dad can beat up your dad.
It's absolutely true.
Everyone thinks I'm kidding till the photo album comes out and there's me with a potato. I'll dig one up the next time my mom comes down.
Need one.
Yeah, we really got to show that.
Linda, can you help us with that? Shout out to Linda, who may be here right now. Alex is the other inside joke we have is Alex.
She's right there.
Yep, she's right in the comments section.
There she said. She says, "Well, I think there's only one picture."
Mom, we need the potato picture.
Need it.
Linda helps out. She sets up the streams for us. She also is the best trader in the Rise Up.
She is the best trader.
She's great.
Absolutely.
Really?
In a world where Will is teaching people regularly how to, analyze charts, and where Alex is talking about swing trading and taking your profits, and we're all trying to just help people become safe, confident users, Linda's turning it up to 90 and just burning them. Seriously.
No rhyme or reason. Just
she's
yeah.
sitting
Shout
at a
out
computer
Linda.
monitor, chain smoking all day, and no,
Yep.
she's just.
And you
She's
know,
on
her
the 1 second
strategy is
charges.
great. It goes, oh, it's down today, buys a little bit. Next day, oh, it's up today, sells.
Yeah, just
Wow.
simple, honest.
Simple. There it is. She's doing great.
Shout out to Linda.
Shout out to Linda.
Yeah, big shout out to Linda. We love her. Okay, I'm looking at it's 8 my time, which means the light is just about cracking over the dawn outside of Jerry's window. And Brandon, you got a ways to go yet, but we have a little longer here on the Rise
It's
Up
pretty
Morning
dark
Show.
out there, Evan.
It reflects the interstate. If you've got a question, especially a crypto question, this is Web3 101 Wednesday, but we also want you to get out your arena questions. If you have a question for Brandon, for Jerry, for us, don't hesitate. A good joke, a word of wisdom, a prediction, or something else, then let us know. We do have a quick question from Jay Levy. I can't see my eyes. What time does Jerome Powell speak today? Is that happening today, Will?
Correct. He speaks at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time after the Fed releases their decision to cut rates. It'll be to cut rates at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Wow. Oh, wow. Maybe you guys should take notes on when Jerome Powell speaks and then be like, hey, well, he decides to speak at 2 p.m. Eastern. You know, we could do the Rise Up late morning show. Doesn't have to be 5 a.m.,
Right.
6
Yeah, you're
a.m.
right. We'll call him
Well,
and
there is
have
an
him
after
scoot that
dark
up.
show tonight as well, so we'll be on
Oh,
at
yeah?
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, well.
Yeah. You guys could have signed up for that one.
Could have.
You chose this. You chose pain.
Is it,
You chose pain.
I have unfairly taken out my frustrations on you guys when I should be talking to my business partner, Brandon.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
you should. But
Channel
it's
that.
It's fine. It's fine. Just punch at us. Punch down at us. It's
I
fine.
I take it all back. I apologize, guys. Brandon,
I'm
I'll be
getting
calling
really
you
close
after
to
this.
making mustache comments.
Really
Okay,
close.
hey,
Really
hey,
close.
hey! I'm gonna go. All right, no, say less.
I'm sorry.
The
Mr.
shot
Watson.
across the bow has been heated. Okay, I know. I'll turn my happy ass back. Okay, I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
But I do just on the note of Jerome Powell talking.
Yes.
There will be a lot of volatility in markets starting at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time because the Fed will announce the rate cut. There's an 88% chance of it happening according to Fed Watch, which is the official place to go and look at how analysts in the markets are providing percentages and likelihoods of what the Fed does. But it's going to be 2:30 when Jerome Powell speaks. That's really going to make the market go a little bit crazy. And the thing is we are hoping, fingers crossed, for some kind of bullishness from Jerome Powell about when the Fed could switch into what is called quantitative easing. For those of you who don't know, quantitative easing is when the Fed officially does everything they possibly can to start boosting the markets. Jerry, do you have a question?
I do have a question.
Yes.
You can finish though. Just wanted it to be known I want first dibs on questions.
He was just waving.
Okay, coming back to Jerry in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So as Jerome Powell speaks, the key things you're looking for are, hey, we're looking to add to our balance sheet soon. Even just saying that, any kind of hint of that, like it's about to start happening, will make markets go upwards, at least in the short term. Because what the Fed does, they go out, they buy mortgage-backed securities and treasuries, which are bonds from the government, which is the Fed taking money and injecting it directly into the market to boost liquidity. Boosting liquidity is good for stocks, it's good for Bitcoin and crypto and anything that's a risk-on asset. And also, anything that debases the dollar is also good, so that would also technically be good for gold and silver. It's good for all assets. So that's what you're looking for, that's what you're hoping for. I don't know if he's gonna do that, because it'd be a really fast turnaround from when the Fed stopped quantitative tightening, which is the opposite of quantitative easing, on December 1st. It'd be a really fast turnaround for them to immediately be like, and now we're going to start doing it in January. That'd be historically a major irregularity, but we'll see. That's what we're hoping for. Jerry, question.
Yes. Okay. This is a two-part question. Is that okay?
No.
Is that part one?
Yeah.
Is that part one?
Okay. If you are not tightening, are you thus not automatically easing?
It is soft easing. It is the first step. So there are a few things that happen when the Fed go from quantitative tightening into quantitative easing. The first is they stop the reduction of their balance sheet. So the Fed can, when they are doing quantitative tightening, can do two things. They can forcibly be selling assets, which makes them reduce their balance sheet faster, or they just let things come to maturity, and naturally just like catch and release these treasuries, right? And that's what they'd been doing. It'd been softly quantitative tightening. Then on December 1st, they stopped that process. So they say, hey, cool, we're going to renew everything. Our balance sheet's going to remain the same. And that is what is considered soft quantitative easing. But it is not the Fed really doing anything. It's just them officially not doing anything, which is like bringing the lever into like the middle section before they do it. Now, the next step, they actually already started doing as well, which is called repo. Repo are short-term loans that the Federal Central Bank of the United States provides to the banking sector because liquidity levels in the banks are super low. If some of you might be like, wait, but liquidity is high, look at M2. M2 is not the liquidity within the banking sector. Those are two different things. And the liquidity in the banks are super, super, super low right now. And so on the same day that the Fed on December 1st said, hey, we're going to keep our balance sheet the same, the banks said, hey, we don't have enough money to conduct daily business. And so the Fed went, okay, cool. Here's like $20 billion they gave, or it was like $35 billion. It was a lot. It's the most we've done in 4 years since COVID. And so that was a big signal to the market. The market went up that day because they're like, oh, the Fed's going to help out the banks however much they need to keep this whole plumbing and infrastructure of the financial system going. We're getting close. And so that's the second step you need. So balance sheet stops being reduced, repo starts happening, but then there's typically a window of like weeks to months, like 2 months, 3 months or something, where the Fed just watches to see how things go. And then they take that lever and they go, we're adding to our balance sheet now. There's typically a delay. They want to see how the system handles their repo and just kind of like how things settle, analyze some data before they do it. So even if Jerome Powell comes out and says like, hey, we're not going to do this for a couple months, the market might take that and go, oh, in a couple months, we're doing full quantitative easing? Hell yeah. And the market will still be pumped at that. But that's how that transition goes between quantitative tightening into quantitative easing.
Okay. Thank you for the hand movements and everything. I think well done. You were very animated.
I've grown up around. I've been around Italians for 15 years.
Just in podcast land, Will just did like a ballet of choreography hand movements.
Yeah, but he really, he's really in the pocket when he's explaining, economics and everything. So, second question. I have this theory that like we used to say in crypto, like crypto used to be a little bit reactionary to like rate cuts and all these things, right? But I feel like lately that's been kind of priced in before things have been announced or the speeches and all this stuff. Am I wrong about that, or do you think I'm onto something here?
No, you're wrong.
All right, well.
You're wrong. 3 out of the past 5 times we've had interest rate cuts announced, Bitcoin has ended lower on the day. Stock market's 4 out of the past 5 times. And also, if you look at the volatility on the day of rate cut decisions, if you have the chart up at the same time as Jerome Powell is speaking, particularly if you're on like the 5-minute chart or like the 20-minute chart or something, it's just why. It is the most volatile time you can watch a cryptocurrency chart. However, you are right in the sense that the market is forward-looking, right? You'll pump into it. You have to buy the rumors, sell the news event. So it is priced in. And then if you're buying there, you're typically buying a local top, right? So yes, you are both correct and wrong, but
Well, that's
wrong.
Part of the Jerry experience there.
Yeah. Anyway,
Will, here's an interesting. I've never had this specific thought before, but just thinking about going into quantitative easing theoretically, at the same time that I had to bring it back to Genius, that the Genius Act is going to be pushing financial institutions into buying treasuries theoretically at the same time that the Fed is buying them back, feels like it could walk us into a interesting little quandary.
Well, how would it be a quandary if companies and the Fed are both buying treasuries?
Because what happens when supply gets too low? Like if way more
supply of treasuries gets low? That could never happen. The government will just continue to... The government's not going to say no to taking your money. And that's what you do when you buy a treasury. You're giving the government money.
But it's not an infinite resource because there's a consequence to making more of it to supply the demand of treasuries if it were to go up at a hitherto unseen amount due to more institutions than have ever been incentivized to buy them before, buying them at the same time that the Fed is rotating back into easing.
Yeah, well, at the same time, you have nation states that haven't been buying treasuries for like the past 5 years or so, nearly at the levels they were, like China, Japan, a number of other countries. The UK bought a crap ton as a part of their trade negotiations with tariffs. But you have nation states really reducing the amount of US treasuries that they've been purchasing, which is one of the reasons why when people for the longest time were like, Tether's going down, I was like, no, they're not. They're the 16th largest purchaser of treasuries in the world. The United States isn't going to go after them. Are you kidding me? They need people to buy to step in and fill this gap that nation states are starting to leave behind, because our credit worthiness as a country is going down, because we can't manage our money properly, because we have an addiction to spending money. That's why the largest credit agencies have reduced us from AAA status to AA status, and why we'll probably continue to be degraded over the next number of decades or so. So you need somebody to step in and buy treasuries. And so companies buying it, Circle and Tether buying it, and like other stablecoin, like you need those people to step up. So a reduction of demand, increase of demand, probably going to end up being pretty much net. It's going to be hard to fill those shoes though of nation states buying treasuries. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. But yeah, there's a concern there, but there's also a path forward for everything to be fine.
What's the incentive look like for foreign nation states buying treasuries to hold them for long periods of time?
Well, if your country is having some level of instability economically, politically, socially, you typically see an increase in the purchasing of treasuries, because they're seen as safe, because the US government isn't going anywhere, hopefully, because if it does, it's probably a bad thing. But it's also going to be a tool that's probably being negotiated as a part of tariff negotiations as well. It's probably a conversation because the US wants people buying treasuries, because the US needs money, because we like to spend it. So, there's two things. I'm sure there are other things that I'm just not thinking of as well, but those are the first two that come to mind.
Interesting.
I want to shout out everybody on the arena who is helping with the tips. Thank you very much. We have had some awesome follows, some awesome tips. Lobs King, Soycott, of course, Matthew Malik, my friend in art. He's a producer of film and TV, so shout out to him. We were having a little chat backstage. Everybody in the arena chat is making little side bets about the Fed sending it 50. Like I saw you post about it, Brandon, and my response was like, damn, man, not to 50. And Mayhem in the chat is back and forthing with you, Will, saying, I don't know, it's been priced in before. I think there's some nuance here. It's a really good conversation going on, and I don't want to derail it, but I do want to let everyone know we've got to start thinking about that time when we ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset, winding down the stream, or at least I do. I'm going to be driving all the way from Memphis to Michigan today to visit my family. My fiance and I are going for the holiday, but the Rise Up Morning Show. Oh, yeah, Kimberly just popped in. She said, you're driving? The tradition is Kimberly will drive, and I take a nap. She's an incredible road warrior, and that's why I'm married.
Well, let them not say that chivalry is dead.
Let them not say chivalry is dead. And in Kimberly, it is alive and well, and she's the best one. So for people who are watching us perhaps for the first time, let me remind you, if you've heard it before, the Rise Up Morning Show is live Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, a.k.a. the crack of dawn, wherever Jerry and Brandon live. And you can tune in wherever you are, whenever you listen, by going over to RUMS, RUMS, HQ.com. You can find the links to all of our socials there. You can find past episodes on YouTube, on your favorite podcasting app, on the arena, and the link you need to remember really is community.rumshq.com. If you're wanting to connect with us, we have a lot of impersonators on social media. We have a lot of DMs, and most of them are junk, but that is the place we go where the show lives 24/7. We've got friendly people from all over the world, crypto users at all levels of experience who can answer a question for you. They can share some community. You can learn, grow, and we say, rise up together. We would love to see you there, because really at community.rums, as it's true, the only thing missing is you. So friends, where do you want to take it? Jerry, Brandon, I'm glad to defer to you guys as our guests now that Jerry's waking up a little bit. Brandon, maybe you'll be following. Is there anything that you guys particularly want to get into today? We haven't talked about any food content yet.
We've just
can
broken
tease
dusk.
the show again.
We've just broken dusk.
Broken
What's it
dusk.
called? Yeah.
Crepuscule, I believe.
The
is,
Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn. There we go. My bad. It's a little early, William. I apologize for getting that wrong. Great mustache, by the
You
way.
haven't mentioned it yet, Jerry, so I wasn't sure.
Just end everything.
Yeah, sorry, you poured it with fortitude.
Yeah. No,
I don't think we can really get into food topics because I don't think you just said you've only got 10 minutes, and that's a minimum
Fair.
hour, 2-hour argument that will go almost immediately.
Yeah, actually, I heard Jerry that you will absolutely die on the hill of your food takes.
I will. Yeah. No, I stand by all of them.
And they're terrible. And
What are
they're
the
terrible.
hottest-
food
Brandon's
takes.
Interesting, okay.
Brandon has some of the worst food takes I've ever heard in my life.
We'll be
And-
right.
Wait, Jerry, my
Dude,
request
this
is
guy-
then
yes,
that
yes,
your
sir.
final thought for the show, to guarantee we don't have any time for anyone to defend anything, but only enough time for Brandon to have a conniption, would be you giving us one of your food hot takes right as we walk out the door.
Yeah.
I got
We'll
you.
cue you.
Got you.
Bullish.
Literally anything he says about food, you guys will think is a
This
hot
guy
take
put
because it'll be wild.
Live in front of hundreds of people, put Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on tacos, on street tacos, bro. It was
Oh.
over from that. Yeah, disgusting.
Well, I
I
don't know,
did.
man.
Disgusting.
I like
No.
a little sweet.
Nah,
I did it because I
Evan.
had a. Here's the thing, though. Here's
It's
my
not a
argument
thing.
on
This
that
is the
is
worst
if
justification
I
I've
put
ever
Sweet Baby Ray's on a steak, if I have a sweet potato, a steak, and I'm gonna put Sweet Baby Ray's on it. So if I get a steak taco, somehow because it has a tortilla, all of a sudden it's off limits for
Correct.
me to put. It seems like narrow-mindedness. I don't understand how somebody's drawn this line of this thin piece of flour all of a sudden
Don't
changes
do
the
that.
fact
No,
that I
you-
can use barbecue
Brent-
on steak.
You know, I just like to tell everybody that, like, no matter how you want to live your life, you should live it as long as you're not hurting people, unless you're putting Sweet Baby Ray's in your taco.
Yeah.
Wow.
100%.
Which-
100%.
Surf, other commenters, this is so divisive. Some people say Brandon makes good food. You can't ruin good meat like that. Okay, we need to know in the comments, are you a barbecue on steak person? Is it rightful or ruinous?
Yeah.
And also from the comments, here's a good follow-up question. Tori wants to know, she's been trying to get over to the arena, and she's there, but she can't see the chat feature. She's used different browsers. She's restarted her computer. So the question is, how can I contact some of the devs of Arena? I have thoughts and issues. And you guys were saying you know the founder. And we've connected a little bit back and forth in the comments. So what's the best way?
Probably.
Yeah, I actually, what is the best way? I would say.
Yeah, the Discord. Tori, can I just send it to Tori privately?
Yeah,
you can send it to Tori
over.
privately. You can send it in our Telegram chat. She's in there.
Okay.
But
I've
then
only
for
run
peop-
into that one time, but I usually pull just have it on my phone, and I don't have nearly as many issues on mobile.
Yeah, try on
but-
your phone, Tori.
Also,
And
I
it
just wanna
sounds like
point-
they're working on a new version to fix some bugs too. Sorry, Will, go ahead.
No, sorry. This was going back because I'm just watching the comments section, and I know, Brandon, you said Jerry has hot takes for food, but man, you're getting dunked on pretty hard for putting barbecue on steak.
and I just want to say, William, did I hear you make mention of the fact that you're Italian?
I actually am not Italian, but I've been around Italians my entire adult life, so it just kind of rubbed off on
Well,
me.
what
I
is
am
your
Italian.
background? Oh wow, Evan. Okay, that's good to know.
Really?
Alex, Eastern European. Okay, food takes. Alex, maybe, not Eastern European. Not a strong.
Yeah, Romanians are
strong
not
suit.
known for their
Yeah,
super desirable cuisine.
Yeah, no, I'm Scotch Irish.
Scotch, Irish. Okay, maybe Evan. This will be a conversation between the two of us because we're the closest to the
Familia.
Latin roots of our people. I'm famously a Hispanic myself, half, and I think that makes us authorities here, Evan. And barbecue sauce on tacos absolutely made my blood boil.
I would absolutely die on this hill.
Yeah. I would do it though. I will tell you, Jerry, I would do it. I live in Memphis now,
Yeah,
and I have had some what I would call fusion cuisine. If you're putting a little like barbacoa,
Man,
like a
Jerry
little
was
pulled
trying to be
pork
your
on
friend.
that thing, then I might do some barbecue sauce. I would
listen,
not
that
do it
is-
for steak though. To put barbecue
Yeah.
sauce on steak is sacrilegious. in
Yeah.
my
It is interesting though, because if you
Even
take a
sweet
soft shell or
potatoes.
hard shell taco, and even if it's steak and put barbecue, I think collectively, except for Brandon, we're like, this is a crime.
You lost
against
me at hard
humanity.
shell taco.
However, if you take hard shell
hard
taco,
shell
yeah,
taco.
however,
Also lost.
soft shell, I just wanted to include white people taco night, in this.
Yeah.
And
Bearish.
but if you take nachos a plate of nachos and put some barbecue sauce. Now we can work with this, right? It's
Well,
different.
because
It's funny how it changes.
Once you deep fry the tortilla, it all changes, guys. That's the hill we're dying on here. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
You get
if I may, there's only one way I can describe this, Evan. Permission to maybe get a little risque
Con permiso.
Here. Okay. Thank you for doing that in the correct tongue. Nachos are what I would call, and what I would define as like a slutty food. Okay. And when you have a slutty food, you're able to operate, with outside of the box a little bit. So if it's nachos, you have a slutty food, you can put barbecue sauce on nachos, right? Tacos are not a slutty food. So you have to kind of operate. You don't get as like wide of a range to play, like to do new things with the taco. And also I hate fusion food, Evan. So that kind of bothered me that you said that. And I don't want to argue with you about it. I just want you to know that I hate fusion food, and that, I tried to be your friend and you just kind of threw me under the bus. Now you trying to be my friend. I'm not gonna.
Guys, listen, I think the issue we're having here is you're not trying these things. Like, you've tried nachos with barbecue sauce. You're open there. The thing with me that I'm clearly understanding in this room, and maybe even this audience that's clearly palate weak, I would say you have to get outside of your comfort zone. I didn't know that barbecue, especially with a nice chipotle sauce, would combine for this nice sweet spicy on a taco. I didn't know that until I tried it. I was bold enough to take the chance and change everything.
See, I feel like, though, that the desire to put barbecue sauce on it comes from the not knowing that mole exists.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's my Eastern European brother.
I don't like mole.
I am.
Screw mole.
You don't need to like it. You don't need to like it. You just need to stay true to the roots. Alex, I am granting you.
That's not my roots.
You are 1/10 Latino for the rest of the day, brother.
Just for the
1/10 Latino for the rest of the day.
I'll take it. My dad used to make a mean mole. He made it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and isn't your dad? He grew up in Brazil, Alex. He's not from there, but he is from there.
Yes, he immigrated there from Germany.
Yeah, so Alex got a little Latin flavor in his soul.
Mm-hmm.
He did a couple things in Brazil. He went to school. He made a lot of food. He spoke Portuguese, and he failed a driving test because he forgot to bribe the instructor at the end.
Naturally.
Class.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do one last topic, and we'll do a round of final thoughts, and then we'll ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. This has been a great time. We definitely need to have food in front of us to do a couple of reviews, and we got to have you guys back again. I, for my part, will say, if you are not yet following Jerry and Brandon, then you need to follow them. You need to watch out for their new show. I hope you'll plug it. And then let us know if you have follow-up questions for them, if you have follow-up questions about the arena. We would hope to see you there. Let's kick it to our guests first, by which I mean we'll go to Brandon because he looks a little more lively and awake, and then we'll give Jerry two final thoughts. Like Alex said, he can rug us with a milquetoast food take at the end. But Brandon, the floor is yours, man. What you got in your mind before we ride out today?
No, I just say huge thank you for the invite to the show. Gotten the opportunity to meet these guys. We've had William and Evan on so far. We still need to have Alex on the show. We'd like to get them individually so we can get to meet each one of them and kind of hear exactly what they love to dig into. They'll always hear the ridiculous side quests we go on during the stream, and they're all realizing that our stream can go for an unlimited amount of time on a side topic. So that's always fun. But yeah, it's been amazing. I want to do also a big shout out to William, who has come on for monthly market wrap-ups a couple times and absolutely hit home runs with his calls and the breakdowns he gave. He gave a couple options, and then he gave his thoughts on where we would go. Unfortunately, we didn't want to go there, but we went there exactly as he said. But it's just been awesome to get to know you guys. Evan, everybody here has been educating at such a high level. So definitely follow everybody here. If you're on Arena and you have a TikTok, come in, follow these guys. And from our side, we run our show on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and on Fridays at noon. Those are both Pacific Standard Times, the only time that matters. And then other than that, you know, make sure you put some Sweet Baby Ray's on your steak tacos and some ranch on your pizza.
Ranch on pizza, I'm fine with, particularly if it's a buffalo chicken.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
That works.
No, man. No.
Do you see Jerry's face? We've started to crack into his world of hate.
I'm not a ranch guy either.
I hate ranch. I hate ranch.
It is
Ranch
like
is better than blue cheese.
you talk about white girl taco night, man. Give me some hard shells and some ranch, and get me the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, you just want hard shells dipped in ranch?
No, I'm saying no to that. I'm saying no.
oh, okay. God,
The
it.
Eastern
Okay, that's
European
better, 'cause
guy
hard
is
is just
disgusted
like
with you
gross.
guys.
yeah, what does that tell
Well,
you?
if it's not a
Yeah.
boiled potato, then he thinks it's gross.
Right. This guy grew up on boiled potatoes and boiled cabbage, and then
In
like
mole
whatever.
sauce.
And fear.
Yeah, and
shockingly
mole, yeah.
sauce.
Hard
boiled
shell,
potatoes.
Yeah.
potatoes, fear.
Yeah.
You know.
We've got a classic combo. You know, you want fusion food there for you, Evan. Is it my turn?
Please,
to do
please,
things?
please.
Okay. Well, I would just want to say I have two things to say. First of all, you're welcome to you guys and the audience. You know, this
Thank
whole
for being the first person to say you're welcome for my presence. So
yeah,
there you go.
you're
Good job.
welcome. You know, this whole anti-meridian thing, you know, William, I didn't know that the night show was made available to us. I would love to join that maybe one day, William. We'll drink nice whiskeys and maybe talk about the markets and all this stuff. You know, these morning people are Evan just seems like he wakes up in the morning and he's just like bright and ready to go. You know in Friends, the guy who's like the neighbor and he's like singing the song "Morning's Here."
Yeah.
That it kind of like I love Evan. And I'm not saying this is dismissively, but it's just like that we're opposite people, you know. And
Jerry, if we bring you back for After Dark, I would request that we do it with your Wolves DAO hat on, and that we drink and talk about Web3 gaming and why it's languishing.
Oh,
we
that'd be
can
fun.
we can drink and talk about Web3 gaming and why it's languishing. Are you guys connoisseurs of like a Pabst Blue Ribbon every now and then?
Oh, I'll dabble with a PBR.
I say
mean,
we.
I'll drink it and
In
then
solidarity.
I'll just to be feel included and not get FOMO, but I'll just like be washing it down with a Guinness.
I am not going to lie
No,
to you.
okay,
I have
well-
a tall PBR in my fridge right now.
Yep. Alex, that's why I like you the most. I think, dude, is like I think we're kindred spirits, dude. I as do I have a singular tall boy of PBR. In the
Yeah,
fridge,
literally
which
just one.
Just
A
Yeah,
single
just
one.
save it for a special occasion. You know.
Well, now I know what I'm going
Well,
to
I
use it for. So
I have
yeah.
half a 30 rack of Coors Light in my fridge right now.
Nah,
Does
it's
that
not
count?
the same.
Well,
It's not
shut the
same.
hell up.
Better.
Not
It's
to
better.
say,
Coors
Will,
Light's
you're not
better.
one of us.
No.
You're not
Better.
like us.
Guys,
I'm
split the
not-
G
I
on
don't wanna
camera.
be.
Split the G
I
for
wanna be
Guinness.
like you.
Do the G split on camera. That would be a good start to your guys' whole stream.
Oh, that would be. Actually, fun fact, the first time I ever attempted it, I was in Ireland because they were like, oh, do you Americans split the G? And I was like, what the fuck is that? I don't even know. I just drink the Guinness, man.
Never
And then
heard that in my
they
life.
explained it to me. And I was like, oh, you don't know. And so I just fucking did it, nailed it, put it down. I was like, oh, that was easy. And everyone was just like, whoa, lost it. And I've been trying to recreate that since, and I've only done it a
Yeah,
handful of
well,
times.
let's recreate it on the night show. I
Yeah, give it a
say,
shot.
Alex, what we do, we shotgun the PBRs at the beginning of the show.
There's only one way to drink PPRs.
We shotgun them.
no, you
Right?
sip
You
it
do it.
nicely from a fine.
No, Alex.
from a
No,
decanter.
that's
From a
what this
chalice.
guy's gonna do with his champagne of beers over there. No, Alex, we'll shotgun the beers, and
Bullish.
we'll talk about Web3 gaming and why it's languishing. And I think there's a path forward, and I'd be happy to share that with you guys. I think there's a North
agree.
Star. It's out there. It's dim. It's faint right now, kind of like the night's the dawn sky here. In right now it's 7:30 a.m. Evan. The last thing I would say with you, okay, is people who are too reliant on sauces, barbecue sauce and ranch. First of all, before I go into that, this is a true story. When I went to New York with Brandon one time, and we go to these pizza places. He walks up with a fanny pack on his person. He's wearing it across, which is respectable. The right way to wear a fanny pack is just a cross, right? We
This
don't do
already
shoulder
isn't looking good
cross.
for you, Brandon.
Yeah. He pulls out a thing of Hidden Valley Ranch.
Oh,
And we're outside of a pizza place, and he goes, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, you never know if the ranch is going to be good or not. They might charge you for it. So I just learned I keep that thing on me. And I was
That's
like,
an
wow.
insane
No,
thing
Yeah.
to do.
I
And-
respect that. I respect that because my girlfriend and I bring Cholula to this one place because sometimes they're out for our breakfast.
He kind of looks like the
nachos to bring it
Cholula
back to
guy.
nachos.
He kind
I
of,
love
no. Dude,
Yeah,
tell me
actually-
William doesn't look a
actually,
little
I
bit like
buy
the
it in
Tapatio
bulk.
guy. He looks a
I
little
buy-
bit like the Tapatio guy.
But no,
So
I
pull
buy
it up,
Cholula
Evan.
in bulk. I buy these
Yeah,
giant
yeah.
bottles. They come in big, like containers and stuff. It comes in like 5 at a time, and I go through that stuff in like a month.
Yeah.
You guys gotta understand. You gotta control your environment. I don't sacrifice my own enjoyment for anybody, and that's just people who know me. You know.
For people in podcast land, you're gonna need to tune into YouTube for this one because I'm pretty sure we'll yeah.
I was not emotionally prepared for to be faced with a Cholula guy this early in the morning.
Yeah. Dude, he looks
that's
like
Tapatio. That's not Cholula.
We got to start calling him William Salsa Picante Watson over there. You know?
I don't even think it would be racially insensitive for you to wear that costume.
I was about to say, I'm buying that costume.
Hey, William.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make your day right now. You get the costume. You send it in the group chat that you bought the costume. I'll give you 25% Hispanic for the rest of the week, brother.
No.
Rest of the week. All right. Well, I'll have to wait then until it's Halloween so I can be like, no, I'm 25% Hispanic. Yeah.
Jerry's handing out Latin cred like candy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm only half, right? I'm butting up against what I'm even allowed to give out. So you guys should, again, I started with you're welcome for a reason. But second thing, here we go, Alex. This is for you. People who are overly reliant on sauces and condiments and all this stuff, you can't cook. Make better food. Make better food as a base. You don't need to hide it with ketchup, which is just sugar and tomatoes. You need to hide it with disgusting ranch and mayonnaise and mustard and all these things. The American food diet is so reliant. It's just like, I'm going to serve you terrible food and then give you the same Sweet Baby Ray's, the same A1 steak sauce, regardless of the quality. You're just masking bad food. Learn how to cook and you won't need as much.
That was solid. You got a double ding for that one.
I got to say, if you
2 points.
If you go to a couple places that are just, I wouldn't even say arguably, that just have some of the best cuisines on the planet. I'm talking about like India, Nepal, the Mediterranean. Surprising lack of sauces.
Yep.
Not at all. What are you talking about? You just named places that have meals that are basically all sauce. Curry is a sauce.
I was thinking the same thing.
Curry is a sauce.
I knew you were going to say that, and you can't say that.
No,
it's a curry
sauce.
Is a spice blend.
No, it is a sauce.
No, I knew that your dumbass was going to tell me that curry is a sauce and hummus is a sauce and tzatziki is a sauce. They're not sauces.
Tzatziki is it's literally called tzatziki sauce. It's sauce.
No, it's not called tzatziki sauce. It's called tzatziki. You're an American, so you put the word sauce after it.
You do. You do that.
And it's about that time. We've got to wind things down. I'm so sorry. We're going to have
Alex,
to keep the debate going.
25% goes to you. William, you're downgraded to 2%. An offensive 2%.
Well, you know what? I hope you downgrade me to 0%, and I'm going to wear that Tapatio outfit and throw a poncho on it and be
Okay, I want to do a quick shout out to all of the partners that made this show possible today. We want to thank our friends at Arculus. We want to thank our friends at Polygon. We want to thank the Jito
Evan, we
team.
want to apologize to our friends at Jito.
And you're probably right. Could you believe that with your sponsorship dollars, Unlock Protocol, the White Whale, everybody, that you are powering the food debate of maybe not the 21st
Will to be
century,
wrong about sauce,
but at least the last 5 minutes. Okay, we got to go. Make sure you give a follow to everybody on stage. I'm putting their links in the description for this podcast, and we absolutely will have them back again. Thank you so much to everybody who came in today on the arena, everybody who tuned in on TikTok, the podcast guests. Thank you for all the comments. Bearded, I'll read it out for Podcast Land. Said, Alex, I know you're dumbass. Clip that. We will. If you want to clip a moment from the show, if you want to catch up with us, the best place to do it is at community.rumshq.com, where the only thing missing is you. So thank you, my friends, for being the very best part of what we do. Any final thoughts? Can I give it to you before we one more food take, Jerry, for the road?
We don't have time for another 20 minutes.
The sausage McMuffin.
We don't have time.
The sausage McMuffin is the best breakfast sandwich. And I really appreciate you guys having us on.
Okay, we got to go. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, be well. My friends, rise up.